Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Explaining Things. Do not fall for the dad bod propaganda. I know for a fact each of us has seen where women say they want dad bods. You see women talk about on Twitter, just everywhere on the internet, they talk about they want a guy with a dad bod. Now, a dad bod obviously is a bod that a dad would have. So, like a dot in shape, he kind of looks like he sits around, not quite beer dad, but just sort of, he doesn't really work out, he doesn't push-ups and lift some weights here and there. He's not like trim, shredded, like model or an athlete. Just a regular dude, right? Here's why that's right and wrong. But it's more wrong than right. So this is why I'm telling you, don't fall for it. Women don't actually want a guy with a dad bod. That is just the propaganda that you've been sort of fed and lied to. But it's not one that you should take to heart, but you should take it seriously. And I'm going to break it down why that is. So to explain something real quick, that looks don't matter as much for men. I know there's been a lot going on with looks maxing and everything. And yes, I'm going to get to it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do looks maxing, but for men, just being blunt, being honest, looks do not matter as much for men as they do for women. So in terms of the dating market, women don't really, that's not their first thing that they look at. Yes, looks get you in the door, but I would say looks don't matter as much when it comes to you actually dating and doing things like that in a serious relationship. With men, it's more so about aura. This sort of unspoken feeling that you get, that you exude, that is not seen, it's not heard, it is felt. It is an unseen aura that releases from you about how you act, how you carry yourself, your charisma, things like that. But yes, as a man, charisma matters way more than looks because charisma can get you the door. In fact, I know you've seen a lot of ugly guys or guys who are like, they look like a toad dating the 10-10 girl. How does this happen? Well, it's because obviously the guy has this aura, this charisma that can carry him more. And that's why women think the guy's funny. If you can make a woman laugh, then you really are going places. So looks really don't matter as much. So where's the dad bod thing come in? Well, it comes from the fact that when people hear women like dad bods, you might be wondering, well, I should get a dad bod too then. I should work out. No, that's wrong. Because the thing is, the guys who have the dad bods, dads, or women are like, oh, they're like DILFs. It's because older men have this sort of charisma that younger men have not quite gotten just yet. And I'm admitting that as a younger man myself. Older men have this sort of charisma, like I talked about, where despite, they're a bit older in age, not really keeping up their appearances, they're kind of not as young and as athletic as they used to be, they still have this charisma. So while their physicality goes down, their charisma is actually going up in terms of age. There's actually an interesting chart about it, where in terms of age, your physicality, there is charm and there's physique. And as a man, you start off low charm, but relatively high physique. As time goes on, then your charisma goes up, but your physique goes down. So you're going more that way. Older men have this sort of charisma, this charm about them. And so when girls see that with older men, they like that. And they are being truthful when they say, oh, they like guys like that. But the thing is, they like him because of the charisma, not quite because of his body. You see, you're kind of getting them confused. And a lot of people do this, where it's like, oh, what do you like about this person? Guys will think that women like men with dad bods. No, or like longer hair. Like, yes, those are like small little quirks that women can like about men. But all in all, it's more so his charisma that they like about him, not actually his body. It's just that the guys with the charisma have these types of bodies. Now, a guy can have charisma and be fit. Of course, that's, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying this is what they mean when they're saying they like got dad bods. And the reason why you should get a dad bod is because of what I just laid out. But you can actually match him when it comes to this. For young guys, like I said, they do not have as much charisma because it's something that's learned over time. And you can learn it at a young age, but most guys, they're just not really like that. They have a lot of physicality. And why you shouldn't get a dad bod is because you actually have something that he does not, and that is your archetype. So what I mean basically is that there's two different archetypes. There are multiple different archetypes, but let's lay this out. Okay, so you have the guy with the dad bod. Okay, he's older, he's fat, but he is masculine, and he's like charismatic, charming. He cares for her needs. But then you realize, so he's considered 10-10 to a woman. But those traits of itself don't actually matter. These traits right here, these old and fat, it's more so the masculine trait. Because let's say we have, okay, this is 0, this is 10. Go over here, in terms of 0, there can be an old fat creep. Okay, so being older and fat is not what matters. What is it? It's the creepy part. Because he's not really cool. He doesn't have any charisma. Similarly, there could be a, like, these two people are considered 0 to 10 for different reasons, but they're both a 0 to 10. So for the young guy, a lot of girls, take Titanic, for example. Cal, the guy, he's considered a jerk. He's snobbish, he's rude, but he's young and fit. All right? So then guys might watch that and think, oh, so girls don't want a young, fit, rich guy. They want the poor Jack Dawson. No. Again, that's not the problem here. Young and fit does not matter. It's because he's a jerk, right? Because, and now pay attention here, later down the list, like down on the scale towards 10 out of 10, you can be young and fit. But if you're charismatic and masculine, then you will get in the 10 out of 10. So again, it is the masculine charismatic traits, not the actual physical traits of the appearance. That's the entire point of Beauty and the Beast, where looks do not matter as much to women. It's more so like, to be corny, it's what's on the inside. But being realistically, it is what's on the inside. It's how you carry yourself, how charismatic you are, how you treat her, what sort of confidence you exude. Because these guys are confident. These two are not. He's insecure because of his money. He's just a creep and a weirdo who's looking at her on the train. Stop it. The thing is this to say that no, you should not fall for the propaganda. Yes, women like guys like that, but it's more so because the charisma and the charm and this sort of aura that men carry. Now, the good news is that you actually can match the older guy's charisma because he is a certain archetype. Like the older man, like older guy who's like maybe he's a history teacher that women like, and he's very charismatic, he's well learned, he knows how to talk to people and make them feel welcome and more accepted. You as a younger guy, you should stick to what you know. So stick to, like, if you are young and you prioritize fitness and you like moving around stuff, then do that. Make that your archetype. Fit into your archetype and your niche per se. Fit into that and then really go all in on that. Don't try and change and be something that you're not, because then that's going to make you down here, insecure, all these bad things. Because there are 10 out of 10 guys that women will consider these guys 10 out of 10s because they are confident and have charisma. Remember? It's not because you're young and fit. But if you're young and fit, then do that. Go for it. Because you're actually going to feel more natural and feel more confident being who you are. That's why some of the best advice in dating is just be yourself. And it sounds very surface level, but explaining it in this way by using it to build your confidence really makes it come together much more, and it helps you understand it way better.